First thing, I have no affiliation with Behringer or anyone else. No, nobody. It's just me personally. My name is Marty. These are my thoughts. It's not rocket science to see this coming. Last year, I think it was probably like May or June, I put a video out where I said, man, Behringer is coming for companies like Warm and Golden Age projects and whatever. The 500 series 1073, it's got to be on the way. Here we are. The 73 is out. To be fair, they're coming after the Neve company, right? Wrong. I mean, give me a break. Nobody's sitting there going, well, I could buy the Neve or I could buy the Behringer. Those are not directly competing against each other. There's a bunch of companies in between those two ends of the market. Behringer is going after the lower end clone, knockoff, reproduction, hey, we painted it to look like it and call it the same number kind of company. It's $249 on pre-order. I'm looking at right here. I'm looking at it at a company that rhymes with Heat Slaughter that I don't really buy stuff from that much anymore. That's another story. But I bet you there's an EQ and a compressor around the corner. If you look at it like what they did with the Midas so long ago, where they did the preamp, the EQ, and the compressor, it makes sense to me that they would do that. I'm surprised they haven't gotten into the API style preamp yet, so maybe that's coming. And wouldn't we all sort of secretly love to see like a 550 EQ that costs $250? It's going to be a little interesting to see how these tariffs affect a gigantic corporation like Behringer versus a smaller company that, even though they won't put it on their gear, makes their stuff in China. Like if they're asking $250, you know, it's going to take a year probably, at least maybe two, but they're going to be mid to high 100s. If they're really good, you're probably going to spend $200. My prediction on how it's going to sound, I think it's going to sound good. I have a bunch of Clark Technics stuff in my rack because to get better, I have to spend 3 or 5 times as much. So if there's anything I've learned from years now of really meticulously, scientifically comparing preamps to each other, what I would consider a humongous, drastic difference between preamps is really a tiny little fraction of a hair's width. It being a Behringer is probably not going to have any net effect on how good your recording project comes out. Okay, it's not. And if it's an appropriate mic placed in the appropriate place with the proper gain setting, the Behringer is going to be quiet. It's going to have a tone. Clearly it's going to have a 73 tone because they're, you know, the 1176s they make have that tone. The LA2s have that tone. They're going to be able to make it sound like a 73. So go from there. You can inject the argument that, well, you know, no two old vintage Neves sound the same. Yeah, okay, whatever. The point is, what makes a Neve are the transformers, and you can buy a lower end thing with the like house transformer and then throw these beautiful Marinair or, you know, Carnhill transformers in there and hear a difference and feel a difference, because it's not just your ears. There's like a thing that a transformer does. You know, you can argue about the ethics of Behringer, but it really runs right down the line to everybody at this point. And don't get me started on ethics and then talk about Warm, okay, because give me a break there. Company X uses this brand name transformer and they charge twice as much, so it must be better. Better on some level, on some line, okay, better. A more expensive component, you know, yada, yada. But where it matters when you're recording is what comes back out of your speakers. And the gap between that brand name transformer that you paid a ton of money for and this transformer that a mega corporation that can go and build their own, they own all the means of production to make this transformer function and meet the sonic requirements to whatever, let's just say a 97% percentile of the perfect one, right? What comes back out of your speakers is going to be, you're going to be happy with it. So let's say you have $2,000, okay? You spent the big bucks. You have $2,000 and you have 10, almost 1073 preamps to record everything with. Holy. That Uli fella, he does some shitty stuff. It's been a few years since he's really been out being a dick online. But, you know, I just think that you're kidding yourself in this day and age if you think that any of these other companies that are manufacturing in China are any ethically better, you know. And it's really about when the box comes back, does it say made in China on it? And then another American company sends her stuff and has it made in China, but it doesn't say made in China comes back. Which company is more ethical there? All right. See you later. Have a good one.